This year's draft was insane. So let's go back through and give every single team in every division a grade, and then at the end we'll stack each of them up against each other and see who has the best individual grade in the division, in the conference, and in the NFL. Starting in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Let's go, Chiefs!
Now it says the number one need is a cornerback. We all know why. They let go of Trent McDuffie in free agency. He went and signed somewhere else, so they had to shore up that side. Cornerback Mansour Delane out of LSU. The reason why they gave them the draft grade of a B- on him was because, don't forget to sub to the channel. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Don't forget to sub to the channel. Matter of fact, go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and do that right now for me. Go ahead and hit that sub button. It takes 5 seconds. Probably not even that. Thank you in advance. I'm too far away from the camera. Let me just grab it. Now, the reason why they gave the Chiefs a B on this selection was because
it's a trade,
and they traded with the Browns. Now they also gave up an additional 3rd and 5th round pick with this trade to move up from 9 to 6 to select Mansour Delane. He probably still would have been there at 9, so that's why they gave him a B-, because they did trade up for him, and he's a cornerback. Not saying a cornerback can't be a top 5 selection. Denzel Ward is a prime example of it, but top 10 selection. But yeah, I probably would have sat at 9. Mansour Delane probably would have fell into your lap there, but they went ahead and made the jump to get him. They added Peter Woods for their defensive tackle help because they really needed that, and it was an A+ grade. I agree with that. You know, they really did need help on that side of the line, so it does make sense. It said they also needed wide receiver, edge, D-line, and O-line help as well. So if you go back and check on who else they drafted, Thomas, edge out of Oklahoma. This was an A+ grade. It makes sense. This is a position of need for them. And if you go check their depth chart right now, if you notice, Mansour Delane is slotted immediately, starting corner. So you have that position solidified. And then if you look on the rest, you know, Mason Thomas, I keep calling him Manson. Mason Thomas is listed as the 2nd string right defensive end. I will go ahead and tell you right now, he's going to see time this year, so expect to see him out there. Same thing with Peter Woods. Expect to see those guys out there competing this year for the Chiefs. If they're not, something went wrong. Something went wrong because they spent some decent draft capital to get those guys. So if they're not playing this year, something went wrong. Another corner in the 4th round by the name of Jadon Candy, cornerback out of Oregon. Another just depth piece. When you go look at their cornerbacks, I mean, it doesn't really impress you. I mean, look at this. The depth chart for corners: Kristen Fulton, Kyer Elam. I don't even know what this guy's name is. And then they got Emmett Johnson, running back out of Nebraska. This was a good pickup for them. They needed another depth running back. Now, if you guys remember, the Kansas City Chiefs have been notorious for not having 1,000-yard rushers ever since Mahomes has been the quarterback of the team. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since, I think, Kareem Hunt was pretty close to it one year. Yeah, the Chiefs have been notorious for not having backs that can go and get 1,000 yards on the ground. So it makes sense that you're going to go draft another one to back up Kenneth Walker. Now, I personally don't think Kenneth Walker was the right move. But hey, they couldn't get Jeremiah Love. So they had to settle for who they could settle for. Now, I thought it was crazy that what happened, and he ended up going 3rd to Arizona. I assumed he would go 7th, and I assumed he'd be off the board by the time the Chiefs had a turn to pick. But I also assumed they would attack running back a little bit sooner in this draft to get a good 1-2 punch in. But who knows? Maybe Emmett Johnson will end up taking up a decent amount of the carries, and they'll end up having a great 1-2 punch with him as well. Good pickup for the Chiefs here. I'm hoping that, you know, they will be able to shore up their receivers. They have some decent ones, but the thing about the Chiefs is they have a bunch of wide receiver 2s, but not a clear-cut wide receiver 1. That has consistently been a problem with the Chiefs. They always have good wide receivers, but not great wide receivers. And then 7th round selection, QB Garrett Nussmeier. He'll be a good backup. I don't see him ever taking over for Mahomes. I don't think anybody sees that. Unless Mahomes ends up being hurt like he is right now and cannot start the season, then it'd be an interesting competition between him and Justin Fields for who would be that starting quarterback. But honestly, I'm still expecting Mahomes to be the one to start. Maybe not week 1, but he'll be back. And Justin Fields is a solid quarterback too. He's really a starter in this league, but he has to get those demons. He has to shake those off his shoulder. Whatever he has going on in his life right now, I just hope he gets it under control. He could be a damn good football player. I truly believe that. But looks like most analysts have the Chiefs at around a B+, B- draft grade. I'm gonna be honest. I like the Chiefs draft way. I like the way they attacked the draft after the Mansour Delane selection. Right? They didn't have to jump the Browns to go get Mansour Delane. The Browns weren't drafting him. I forgot who was 8th and 7th. The Commanders weren't drafting him. I just think they could have stayed put where they were, and they might have gotten Mansour Delane anyway. So for the Chiefs draft grade, let me think about this because I have to consider a couple different factors. One is the fact they jumped the Browns for Mansour Delane, even though the Browns didn't want him, or they jumped the Commanders. And then the Saints, they drafted a wide receiver. I think it was Jordan Tyson, 8 overall. So they weren't going to take him either. So they really could have sat and got him at 9. So I'm going to have to take that off their grade for a little bit. Their grade's going to have to go down a little bit because of that. They're not going to be a C, but I'm going to give them a B-. The Chiefs are going to get a B- grade from me because they did not have to jump the Browns. He was going to be there at 9. They gave up extra draft compensation they did not need to give up for a player that was going to be there at 9. So I have to give him a B-. If you guys don't like my opinion, just let me know. Okay, it's not going to change what I do, how I grade them. I just want to know. I want to hear you guys' feedback in the comments down below. So let me know. Yeah. I got to turn off the camera first.